Disclaimer. I'm developing a bit of a rhythm with these larger topics. I'll get into a tiny bit of the history of the disease. I'll talk about what modern medicine has missed, and I'll talk about what you should do. I won't get into a lot of the biochemistry this time because I don't think it'll really help you much to understand the problem. Here we've got the CDC's top causes of death in the United States for 2019 and 2020. You will notice a new contender. The terms dementia and Alzheimer's are sometimes used interchangeably. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia, and it makes up about 70% of dementia cases. The Alzheimer's Association has a website, alz.org. that says 1 in 3 seniors will die from complications due to some form of dementia. Something else they mention is that around 6 million Americans currently suffer from Alzheimer's. Worse than that is that within the next 30 years, that number will double. You might think to yourself, well, maybe the number is going to double because we're living longer. It's understandable that you would think that way. Alzheimer's is so associated with old age that some people outside of the science realm call it old timers disease. And from that perspective, the longer we live, the more likely we are to develop Alzheimer's. There are 2 problems with that line of thinking. Number 1, we are not living longer. The average life expectancy in the United States has dropped for the 3rd year in a row. Now, most of that is because of the pandemic, but the best year for life expectancy in the United States was 2014, which was 8 years ago. So it's not like we were just going up and up and up before the pandemic hit us. The second problem is that Alzheimer's is not an old people's disease. The first person ever diagnosed with Alzheimer's was only 51 years old. When it comes to brain scans, we've seen people as young as their 30s have the structural damage associated with Alzheimer's. That should remind you of the videos I made about heart disease and the videos I made about diabetes. This isn't something that just comes out of nowhere. It's something that you spend decades working on. We all know the behaviors exhibited by someone suffering from advanced Alzheimer's, so there's no need to go into the details there. But what I will do is rattle off the Alzheimer's Association's 10 early warning signs and symptoms. Before that, I need to give an additional disclaimer. Do not try to use these 10 early warning signs to diagnose yourself with Alzheimer's. Let a professional do that. You're just going to end up scaring yourself for no reason. Now that the disclaimer is out of the way, number 1, memory loss that disrupts daily life. Number 2, challenges in planning or solving problems. Number 3, difficulty completing familiar tasks. Number 4, confusion with time or place. Number 5, trouble understanding visual or spatial relationships. Number 6, new problems with words in speaking or writing. Number 7, misplacing items and being unable to retrace your steps. Number 8, decreased or poor judgment. Number 9, withdrawal from work or social activities. Number 10, changes in mood or personality. I mentioned that Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. And in a previous video, I mentioned that the only difference between a heart attack and a stroke is the location of the artery damage. I look at the different types of dementia the same way. Alzheimer's is associated with plaque deposits of a protein called beta amyloid and tangled fibers of a protein called tau. Lewy body dementia is a disease associated with abnormal deposits in the brain of a protein called alpha-synuclein. These deposits are called Lewy bodies. Frontotemporal dementia is actually a group of disorders. They involve a loss of nerve cells in the frontal lobes and the temporal lobes. Most of them involve a buildup of tau protein and/or a protein called TDP43. Vascular dementia is brain damage caused by having multiple strokes. It is associated with the buildup of a protein called medin. There are other neurodegenerative diseases that I'm going to place under that same umbrella. Parkinson's disease is a condition where certain nerve cells in the brain get damaged. Most notably, the brain cells that make dopamine are the ones damaged, leading to the symptoms that we're familiar with. Just like Lewy body dementia, Parkinson's is associated with abnormal buildups of Lewy bodies containing a protein called alpha-synuclein. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is brought on by degeneration of the nerve cells of the brain and the spinal cord. It is associated with an abnormal buildup of the amino acid glutamate. Remember that amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Do you see the similarities? The brain is a very squishy thing. A healthy brain is about 60% fat. These diseases mostly involve a shrinking of some area of the brain and a buildup of some type of protein. There are plenty of other diseases I could have stuffed under the umbrella. Just because I didn't name yours doesn't mean these videos won't help you. Basically, if you were fine as a child, but then somehow developed a neurodegenerative disease when you were older, this applies to you. I think this is a good stopping point for the intro. In the next video, I'll get into some of the shortcomings of modern medicine when it comes to Alzheimer's.